Every morning at 6:45 a.m., Ethan Brooks left his small apartment with his 8-year-old daughter Lila holding his hand. He'd drop her off at school before heading to his job as a janitor at the city hospital. But every morning, at the same corner near the subway, he saw her. A frail, elderly woman struggling to cross the busy street with her shopping cart. She wore the same pale blue coat, her hands trembling slightly as she waited for the signal. And every morning, Ethan would stop, smile, and say, "Let me help you with that, ma'am." She'd smile softly. "You're too kind, son." He never thought much of it. Just a small act of kindness to start his day. But kindness, he didn't realize, has a strange way of circling back. Sometimes when you least expect it. Ethan wasn't rich. Not even close. After his wife passed away from cancer 3 years ago, he was left to raise Lila alone. Life had become a string of double shifts, overdue bills, and quiet nights of exhaustion. He didn't complain. He just kept going. "Dad, why do you always help that lady?" Lila once asked from the back seat. He smiled in the rearview mirror. "Because we never lose by being kind, honey. Never." Lila giggled. "You're like a superhero with a mop." He laughed softly, but inside he often felt far from a hero. Still, every morning, rain or shine, he stopped to help that same woman cross the street. He never knew her name. But something about her eyes, warm, knowing, yet sad, always made him pause a little longer. One cold November morning, she wasn't there. Ethan slowed his pace, scanning both sides of the street. No pale blue coat, no shopping cart. For some reason, his heart sank. "Maybe she's unwell," he murmured to himself. The next day, still nothing. A strange emptiness followed him to work. He couldn't explain why he missed her. She was just a stranger, right? But kindness, once it becomes a habit, leaves a hole when it's gone. On the third day, as he mopped the hospital lobby, he heard a nurse whisper, "Room 407, that old lady they brought in from Maple Street. She's fading fast." Ethan froze. Maple Street. That was the corner. Without thinking, he dropped his mop and ran upstairs. Ethan pushed open the door quietly. There she was, frail, pale, eyes closed. Tubes ran from her nose, the rhythmic beeping of machines filling the silence. He stepped closer. "It's me, the guy who helps you cross the street every morning." Her eyes fluttered open. Slowly she smiled. "I know, son. I was waiting for you." Tears welled up in Ethan's eyes. "You'll be okay, ma'am. You just rest, all right?" She reached out with a trembling hand, touching his wrist gently. Then she whispered something that sent a chill down his spine. "You don't remember me, do you?" Ethan blinked. I'm sorry?" Her weak smile didn't fade. "You helped me long before these mornings, but you didn't know it." She took a deep breath, her voice fragile but steady. "Years ago, I worked at the Children's Hospital. You came there every day with your little girl. Your wife was sick. I was the nurse who watched her during treatments." Ethan's eyes widened. You were her nurse?" She nodded faintly. "Your wife was so strong. She used to say, 'My husband never gives up.' She made me promise to watch over you and your little girl if life ever got hard." Ethan's throat tightened. He remembered now, the gentle nurse with kind eyes who brought Lila chocolate milk when she cried. He had been too broken then to remember faces, but she had never forgotten his. And all those mornings, she'd been keeping her promise. Ethan fell silent. Tears slipped down his face. "She told you to look after me?" The woman smiled faintly. "She said you'd try to carry the world alone, but she wanted you to remember. It's okay to let others help you sometimes." Ethan's heart broke all over again, but this time, not from pain, from gratitude. He held her hand gently. "You've been helping me all along, and I never knew." Her voice weakened. "You did, son. Every time you stopped for me, you honored her memory." He wanted to say more, to thank her, to apologize. But her eyes closed peacefully. A single tear rolled down her cheek, and she was gone. The next day, a nurse handed Ethan a small envelope with his name written on it. "She wanted you to have this," she said softly. Ethan opened it slowly. Inside was a folded letter. "Dear Ethan, you reminded me that kindness never dies. It just changes form. You helped me more than I could ever help you. Watching you raise your daughter with love reminded me that even after loss, life can still bloom again. Promise me this. Never stop helping people even when no one's watching. It's how love lives forever." He pressed the letter to his chest, tears falling freely. For the first time in years, he felt his wife's presence, not as a memory, but as something alive, flowing through every act of kindness he gave. Weeks passed, but Ethan wasn't the same. He started a small volunteer group at the hospital, cleaning, helping elderly patients, and teaching young staff compassion through action. He brought Lila with him every weekend. "Why are we helping these people, Dad?" she asked one day. He smiled. "Because someone once helped us when we didn't even know it." Lila nodded slowly, as if she understood something deep for her age. The old woman's shopping cart, once left behind on the street corner, now stood near the hospital garden, filled with flowers Lila planted. And every morning, Ethan still paused there before work, whispering, "Thank you." Years later, Lila grew up and followed in her mother's footsteps, becoming a nurse at the same hospital. Her father grew older but still visited the garden each morning. One day, as he watched her help a patient across the hallway, a tear filled his eye. That same spirit of kindness, once passed from his wife to the old nurse, now lived on in his daughter, a circle completed. As he stood there, a gentle breeze brushed past him, soft, warm, familiar. It carried a whisper he almost thought he heard. "See? You were never alone." In the end, Ethan realized something powerful. Life isn't about grand gestures or wealth. It's about the small acts we do, the hearts we touch, and the unseen promises we keep. The woman he helped every morning wasn't just a stranger. She was a bridge between his past and his purpose. Her whisper became his legacy, and through him, kindness kept living, quietly, endlessly, beautifully. Because sometimes the people we help are the ones helping us heal. And that's the truth speech.